Well, I've assembled the bench the way it's going to be, and I don't desire to keep disassembling and reassembling it. It's only going to get disassembled and reassembled one more time as far as I plan. And I put the back edge here close enough to the back of the stand that I'm not going to recut this back edge. So where it's really bumpy here, it's either just going to stay that way or maybe I'll sand it close. But I'm not going to recut this, I'll just polyurethane it. It's the back and nobody's ever going to see that anyway. I have done some preliminary surfacing on the top, and there's some areas where it's swelled quite a bit. Here's a really good example. And unfortunately my belt sander really tore into the area next to it. That's why I probably shouldn't have used that thing. It always ends up doing that to me. So I've got a really deep divot here. Of course that'll get filled in when everything else gets filled in. And this whole thing is very wavy right now. It's up and down all over the place here. So it's hard to say for sure how much more material I'm going to end up having to take off of here. But I'm pretty sure not enough to cover up that divot. But like I say, the finish, I'm going to put an epoxy finish on here, and that's going to fill all that stuff in. I'm not going to use wood filler on any of the knots. I'll let the epoxy fill that up. But I sure have my work cut out for me here. This is a lot smoother to start out with than the other side was, but I've still got to do the planing, and that's going to be quite a bit of work. It'll be a little bit easier to do now though, because I've got the top screwed to the base, which I never did before, so that gives it a little bit more mass rather than just pushing away from me when I'm planing. And the way this is designed, it's going to be cantilevered, how you see it. There's going to be a tremendous amount of weight on the back holding it so that it can't tip forward, and I'll probably even anchor it to the floor or the wall when it's in its final resting place. But in any case, it'll never be able to tip forward in real use. But as it is now, if I don't block it in like I have it blocked in, it will push away and try to tip over when I'm planing. The funny thing is, the way the center of gravity is on this thing, it will tip over when I push on it, but it doesn't fall over. It kind of goes back up like a weeble. But either way, I do have to block it so it's not always tipping whenever I'm pushing with the plane. So there you have it. I've done quite a bit of work off camera here to get to where I am right now. There's a tremendous amount of tension in this right now too, because what happened is I laid out the screw holes to mount the top to the base, and then when I put the top in place and screwed it together, the top bowed up in the middle. It was under compression from the edges, so then I had to clamp it here so I could put a screw in, then actually a couple of screws in the middle to hold the top down. So there's a tremendous amount of tension and compression here. I'm not concerned about it. There's quite a bit of material here everywhere, so I don't expect it to go popping apart at any time. But it does make for some interesting sound. It sounds like it's hollow if you hit it, because there actually is a gap in between the areas where I screwed it down. So hopefully it doesn't settle anymore once I'm done planing, because that will obviously when I'm planing it, these areas that are higher are going to end up lower. And already I've talked too long here. That's almost 5 minutes here, so we'll call this video quits where it is, and I'll maybe do some planing later, but it's going to be a pretty good while here before I have any actual results. So there you have it. Thank you for watching.